to today's On This Day in Tudor History. I'm Claire Ridgway. I've written several Tudor history books and I also run the Tudor Society and Anne Boleyn Files websites. Now I'm taking you back to King Henry VIII's reign today, for on this day in Tudor history, the 17th of May 1521, Edward Stafford, 3rd Duke of Buckingham, was executed for treason on Tower Hill. Now this was the Friday before Whitsunday as well. Buckingham was the son of Henry Stafford, 2nd Duke of Buckingham, and his wife Catherine Woodville. Now you might recognise the name Woodville. Catherine Woodville was the sister of Queen Elizabeth Woodville, who of course was the Queen Consort of King Edward IV. Now, Buckingham was also the great-grandson of Thomas of Woodstock, King Edward III's youngest son, and so he had Plantagenet blood. His father had rebelled against King Richard III in 1483 and had been executed as a result. And when Henry Tudor became King Henry VII in 1485, after defeating Richard III and his forces at the Battle of Bosworth, Buckingham, that's Edward Stafford, was made a Knight of the Bath. Although his favour continued into King Henry VIII's reign, with him serving in positions such as Lord High Constable and Lord High Steward at Henry VIII's coronation, for example, and being appointed to the new King's Privy Council, the new King Henry VIII came to see Buckingham's royal blood as a bit of a threat. In 1520, Buckingham was suspected of treason, and so King Henry VIII ordered an investigation. He was summoned to court in April 1521 and arrested. Then he was imprisoned in the Tower of London and tried for treason. Now, chronicler Edward Hall records that he was indicted of high treason for traitorously conspiring and imagining as far as in thee lay to shorten the life of our sovereign lord the king. So those are Hall's words. Now Buckingham denied these charges, saying that they were nothing but false, untrue, conspired and forged. But unfortunately for him, witness depositions from his employees, such as Charles Knivet, Robert Gilbert and Edmund Delacourt, and also monk Nicholas Hopkins, were read out in court. According to them, Buckingham had been listening to political prophecies from the monk Hopkins, who had prophesied that Buckingham would one day be king. Buckingham was unsurprisingly found guilty of high treason by a jury of his peers, and he was sentenced to a full traitor's death. You all know what that is by now if you've watched lots of my other videos. To be hanged, drawn and quartered, that awful, brutal, long and suffering death. On the 17th of May 1521, at about 11 o'clock in the morning, Buckingham was delivered to the sheriffs, who led him from his prison up to the scaffold on Tower Hill. Now, as a nobleman, he was lucky because of his status. He was to be executed by beheading rather than suffering that full traitor's death of being hanged, drawn and quartered. So there was a perk, well there were lots of perks, but this was one of the perks of being a nobleman. So if you got into trouble and you were a traitor, then you didn't usually have to have a full traitor's death. Now Edward Hall, the chronicler, gives the following account of his execution. He said he had offended the king's grace through negligence and lack of grace, and desired all noblemen to be beware by him, and all men to pray for him, and that he trusted to die the king's true man. Thus meekly with an axe he took his death, on whose soul Jesu have mercy. Then the Augustine friars took the body and head and buried them, Alas, that ever the grace of truth was withdrawn from so noble a man, that he was not to his king in allegiance as he ought to have been. Such is the end of ambition, the end of false prophecies, the end of evil life and evil counsel. So those are the words of chronicler Edward Hall about the end of Edward Stafford, the Duke of Buckingham, who died on this day in Tudor history in 1521. So a sad end to a man who had served his king loyally. Did he have plans on being king? Was he listening to prophecies? Who knows? But obviously his Plantagenet blood just made him too big a threat for King Henry VIII to leave living. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow with another Tudor history event for you. I do hope you're enjoying these videos. You can subscribe to my channel by just clicking around about there, and you can get your Tudor fix by having a browse through. There are stacks and stacks of videos now for you to enjoy, and they're all Tudor history themed. You can of course hit the bell to be notified of new videos, and give this video a like if you've enjoyed learning about the Duke of Buckingham and his sad end. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye bye.